Another story, though, that we're watching involves another civil rights organization, and that is Color of Change. Last week, the New York Times had this huge story. It talked about how Facebook was targeting a number of people, pushing back against their critics, and they tried to blast Color of Change as being a group funded by George Soros. Well, guess what? He has been a consistent a target of folks on the right, and many people say it's also there are threads of anti-Semitism by somehow using his name and attaching him to every single sort of initiative. All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. As we transition to the holiday season, this is the time when we start thinking about giving and sharing. Sometimes the best gift that you can give someone is an opportunity that could potentially change their lives. Well, our friends at Transatlantic Real Estate have created an investment opportunity for the everyday investor. It involves legal marijuana and crowdfunding. Now, we all know that legal marijuana has created one of the fastest growing industries in the nation. We also know that crowdfunding makes it easy to be an early investor of an opportunity. Folks, this is a no-brainer, but it gets even better because what Transatlantic is actually doing is their business model is simple. They buy the land that supports marijuana grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That means that you're going to be a landlord of a licensed marijuana farm in a high-growth market. And so for limited time only, you can invest anywhere from $300 up to $10,000 before the company goes public. Now, here's the thing. You must complete and confirm your application to participate. Again, complete the process. Don't just go on, pop your email in and say, I'm done. No, you must complete the process. Now, again, if you're looking to use your holiday money in a much different way, this is one way you can do it. And so all you have to do is go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org. Get in the game, and you can certainly do it now. Back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. Well, Color of Change responded to Facebook, really putting them on their heels, saying that massive changes should be made because they said they were offended by their attack that was taking place against them. Joining us right now is Rashad Robinson, Executive Director of Color of Change. Rashad, many people were very surprised to see that story of Facebook hiring a conservative group, a conservative outfit, to dig up dirt on the Color of Change, to trash you in media. Late last week, Facebook fired that group. Mark Zuckerberg claims he had no knowledge whatsoever of what they were doing. Sheryl Sandberg as well. That's hard to believe for a whole lot of folks.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to believe. I mean, what the whole story for us is a bit hard to believe. For the last several years, our work on Facebook has been deeply public. I've come on your show to talk about some of the, spoken with you a number of times about some of our campaign work, from that issue with Corrine Gaines, the young woman in Baltimore who had her Facebook Live turned off during a police interaction and ended up dead, to some of the civil rights violations on their platform. We have campaigned. We've sat at the table. We led a major campaign to push Facebook to adopt a civil rights audit and to begin reviewing all their policies and practices, and have now pushed them to actually get on a timeline for when they're going to release it. All while we were doing it, they hired this right-wing firm, as you said, to really trash us. But the unique way that they trashed us was quite interesting. They went on this theme around George Soros, the sort of billionaire philanthropist, who does support some of Color of Change's work, but is by no means our largest donor. And we are not one of the largest, recipients of money from the Open Society Foundation. But they used this frame that we were somehow puppets of George Soros, which for anyone who's a student of history, this was one of the themes that was oftentimes leveraged against some of the civil rights workers of the 60s, that black organizers, black activists are somehow puppets of these sort of behind-the-scenes Jewish leaders. It's also deeply anti-Semitic. It has all sorts of themes and these ideas that Jewish people control the world, or Jewish people are controlling, what we do every single day. And so that Facebook, as an organization, rather than actually dealing with us at the table, dealing with our demands, would hire this right-wing PR firm and leverage these attacks behind the scenes. For the last several months, Roland, we have gotten all sorts of calls from journalists randomly asking us, do you get money from George Soros? How much money do you get from George Soros? We thought it was weird. Some of the threats against our organization, white nationalists, sending us hate mail, people would start mentioning George Soros. We actually didn't know where this was coming from. The idea that this was coming from Facebook, one of the largest corporations in the world, one of the largest communications platforms, speaks to how much they actually have to change.
And what has been their response? I'll take it you reach out to them. Have you met with them? What did they say?
Well, our staff some of the staff have met with various staff of Facebook. We've made a direct public demand right now that Sheryl Sandberg and Mark Zuckerberg sit down with me and that we have a conversation. They've put our organization, myself, our members, in danger by some of the ways in which they leverage white nationalists and white supremacist tropes and narratives to undermine our work, and I believe that they have to sit down with us. We're also pushing hard and in conversation about the civil rights audit. The fact of the matter is that they agreed to do it, but they've been stalling. We have no word on when they're going to release it. We have no word on the enforcement that they're going to put behind it. So an audit without actual enforcement and teeth is not worth it to us. Facebook has a lot of problems. They will continue to be one of the larger communications platforms in the world and have a huge sway over the conversations and politics in our country. And the lack of regulation, the lack of accountability is dangerous for all of us. And that's what we're demanding. We have been unsatisfied at this point with Facebook's response. But, our work is the commitment of channeling our members and Black folks' energy and holding these companies accountable. These companies that can sometimes think that they give you a $100,000 check and that you're going to go away. We don't take money from Facebook. And part of what we've got to do here is make sure that they live up to their stated values of connecting people across community, and that they are accountable to the law of the land.
All right, Rashad Robinson, we certainly appreciate it, man. Thank you so very much. Certainly keep us updated about those conversations with Facebook. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.